is the result of things that happen during the school year and how much it has to do with what happens during summer vacation. Let's start with the school year gains. That is, how many points students' test scores rise from the time they start classes in September to the time they stop in June. These results tell a completely different story from the one suggested by the full year results. The first set of test results made it look like lower and increasing school funding, all of which assume that there is something fundamentally wrong with the job schools are doing. But think back to that second set of statistics that showed what happened between September and June. Schools work. The only problem with school for the kids who aren't achieving is that there isn't enough of it. Alexander, in fact, has done a very simple calculation to demonstrate what would happen if the children of Baltimore went to school. Part of it is endurance, part of it is motivation, part of it is incentives and rewards and fun stuff, part of it is good old-fashioned discipline. You throw all of that into the stew. We talk a lot here about grit and self-control. The kids know what those words mean. Levin walked down the hall to an 8th grade math class and stood quietly in the back. A student named Aaron was at the front of the class, working his way through a problem from the page right there, so I signed it. With that, her life changed. Keep in mind, while listening to what follows, that Marita is 12 years old. I wake up at 5:45 a.m. to get a head start, she says. I brush my teeth, shower. I get some breakfast at school if I'm running late. Usually get yelled at because I'm taking too long. I meet my friends Diana and Stephen at the bus stop, and we get the number 1 bus. A 5 friends and summer vacations to push their children ahead. Her community does not give her what she needs. And what does she have to do? To give up her evenings and weekends and friends, all the elements of her old world, for Kip. Here is Marita again in a passage that is little short of heartbreaking. When we first started 5th grade, I used to have contact with one of the girls from my old school. And whenever I left school on Friday, the real lessons of success, we squandered talent. If Canada had a second hockey league for those children born in the last half of the year, it would have twice as many adult hockey stars. Now multiply that lost potential through every field and profession. The world we could have is so much richer than the world we have settled for. Marita doesn't need a brand new school with acres of playing fields and story of my mother's path to success. And it isn't true. It's not a lie in the sense that the facts are made up, but it is false in the way that telling the story of Bill Gates without mentioning the computer at Lakeside is false, or accounting for Asian math prowess without going back to the rice paddies is false. It leaves out my mother's many opportunities and the importance of her cultural legacy. In 1935, for example,